Hello, welcome back. Are you ready for the lightning talks? This is one of my favorite parts of the conference because there finally will be some talks that I will understand, I hope. For your microphone to be switched on?
Yes. Maybe it's
okay.
time for the funniest part, maybe?
Yeah. The lightning talks.
The lightning talks. Zapowiadajte, Załata. Welcome. Let's see it.
And let us remind you the rules for lightning talks. Every one of our lightning speaker has maximum of 5 minutes on the stage to talk on any topic they want, but explicit advertising is not recommended. Well, it is not forbidden, but you have to know that the audience doesn't like it. So if you want to be booed, you can make explicit advertising.
When those 5 minutes are up, you will hear a sound like this. Or maybe
Dong.
or song, or ching, or pink, mick, or walk, or...
Okay, you will hear a sound.
Yeah.
And when you hear that sound, that means that the time of the speaker has elapsed. So you have to clap so hard and so loud that you have to mute their speech. Okay? Was this understandable?
Yeah.
I understood it.
Okay, maybe start. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's give the microphone to the first speaker, Ivan. Ivan is here. Applause for Ivan. Why all sysadmins are always grumpy?
Do I have to do? Hey.
Prova.
Do I have to make something with it?
Do you want me to say?
Hey.
Hey, okay. Hey.
Okay. So, your applause for Ivan and Ivan.
Ivan and Ivan.
What we're about to talk about, actually, because
Let me check.
we're here because Peshu signed up
Signed
for
an Ivan.
this, So we don't know who Simon needs to start the speech.
You go first, or?
Oh no, my point of view is from a management perspective.
Okay, so I'm the sysadmin. Okay, so
So-
why all sysadmins are always grumpy? How we should not be grumpy? You wake up at 3 a.m. after you have been drinking with friends the previous night because your phone rang, because some code broke, of course. And the reason it broke, developers write cheat code and QAs forget to test it right. Whatever. Let's visualize it with a very well-known joke about the developer who made himself a bar. He made a bar and tested it himself. Then he hired a QA to test it. The QA got into the bar, ordered a beer, 10 beers, 12 beers, minus 5 beers, and so on. Then the first customer came. The first customer asked where the toilet is, and the bar burst out into flames. Okay, that's the normal joke. The side you don't see as developers and QAs is when the bar burns into flames is the moment the sysadmin's phone rings and is, as always, you pick up your phone and it's, okay, that broke down. Okay, now I need to get out of bed because, of course, it's 3 a.m. because nothing breaks in working hours and when you're sober, so that's it. Then you go and see what's broke. You have to reverse engineer the developer's code because there's no comments as usual. Then you have to run it through the test because you cannot deploy it directly to production. And you get to bed at 6 a.m., let's say, if you're lucky. And then you have to wake up at 8 a.m. again to go to work and deal with the next problem you see. How we should not be grumpy after that. The next part is, yeah, we are more bothered. We have to do more and more paperwork and less fixing of stuff, less and less development. The new way of making code and programs is you make small parts and you make them work in cloud development and, let's say, microservices. The way microservices works is if it breaks, just restart it. We'll create a new pod or a new container. Okay, but why did it broke? Whatever. We create a new one and it works. Nobody cares. Until the moment everything breaks and restarting it does not work anymore. And it's, of course, it's the sysadmin's problem, as usual. Yeah, the other stuff is, when everything works, why are we paying you sysadmins? Everything works. When something breaks, why do we pay you? Everything is broke again. Why are you here? Okay. The only day we get some appreciation is sysadmin day. Sometimes, not always. We always welcome cakes, all types of sweets, and of course whiskey. Sysadmins works on coffee and whiskey to make things work, with limited budget resources and everything else. So that's the reason sysadmins are always grumpy. Oh, the other reason is, in most companies lately I have heard that drinking in the workplace is prohibited. How do we have to deal with the stress of working with having to fix problems? It's depressing. The only way we can fix that is by drinking. It's part of the job.
Okay, that was it. That was Ivan. Please welcome, send him off with your applause, and welcome Ilian. You saw him earlier on the stage as a speaker. Now you will have the opportunity and pleasure to listen to him for a second time on
Hello.
Lightning Talks.
I'll bore you a bit more. So, stop thinking about scaling. I'll tell you a story. A few months ago, in one developers forum, there was a guy asking about, oh, can I use Django, a Python web framework, with MongoDB? Django is not meant to work with MongoDB. It's meant to work with relational database. It works great. I'm like, theoretically, it's possible to use it. But why do you want to do it? And he's like, oh, I need something scalable because my app needs to handle tens of millions of users. I'm like, okay, how big is your app? Oh, I'm just starting it. How many potential users you have? Tens of millions. No, how many potential users you have that will subscribe tomorrow? Oh, I don't know. So here's the problem. At different stages of your life, of the life of your application, you have different problems to solve. When you have 1,000 users, or 10,000, or 100,000, 1 million, you have different problems to solve. And if at point zero you start thinking about, oh, how should I build it to handle 10 million users, you're probably going to fail. You waste a lot of time into scaling for something that may never happen. Usually startups don't live long. They often crash at the beginning, or they pivot, they move into some other direction because they see that the initial business idea is not, it's not profitable, it's not working, or it's just not fitting in the market for some reason. So instead of thinking about scaling for millions of users, think about the users that you have now, or the users that you have tomorrow. Not the users that you may have tomorrow, the users that you will have tomorrow. Think in a bit shorter terms. It's always good to think about optimization, but don't think too far. Don't waste time and resources into trying to solve problems that you don't have. Again, you'll lose time, you'll lose money. You'll spend so much time into developing something that will never happen, that the market will move forward, another solution will pop up. You'll be out of business before you even start. So start thinking about how to solve the problem that you have today. Start small, run it, make sure that you get some users. You have thousands of other problems that you need to fix before scaling. You have UI problems, UX problems. You have, oh, I need to integrate with that system because they are a viable partner before you even reach the point that you need to think about scaling. So think of the problems that you have now, not the problems that you're going to have 5 years ahead. Thank you.
And now the last speaker, Антоанета. Заповядай. Силни аплодисменти за Антоанета, единствената дама, която се престраши днес.
Thank you. So I would like to start with a little bit side thing from what I will speak about. Today is 9th of September, And in far away 1949, Grace Hopper found first software book, which makes this day a QA day, International QA Day. So I would like to congratulate all of you with this holiday, although this is a Dev Challenge accepted today. What I would like to speak is about legal aspect. The people who visited our election, maybe here Pavel Kanazirev, he said a lot about technical aspect, but I would like to cover one more aspect, and this is legal aspect. Everybody is thinking that technology is not ready to produce an automated driving car. That's not true. Technology is absolutely ready, but from ethical perspective, we are not. The car should be prepared to take different decisions by himself or herself or whatever car is as a gender, because when we have to think what will happen if we have to, for example, cross a road and have an accident, we have to have defined clear behavior who will suffer from wrong decision of the car. For example, if you have a dog and a deer, and definitely car should not avoid an accident, we have to be able to decide who will live and who will not. Honestly speaking, I don't want to be on the place to take such a decision because it's very hard. In my personal opinion, both animals should live. And if we go to a human direction, then the situation becomes much more difficult and complicated. So to have a really interesting car, which is able to take decisions by itself, then we have to think about this legislation. Second thing which we have to consider is actually the fact that in the car we should be prepared to take decisions. For example, if we are talking about these wonderful taxis in California, which Pavel spoke a few minutes, maybe an hour ago, there we should implement features where a car is able to take a decision. I'm speaking about the case when we have to be fully aware how we will be able to make a differentiation between an app and unconsciousness, because this is a taxi and it is fully allowed the guy to sleep, but it's not that different state if somebody is unconscious. So our car should be clever enough, and our software and algorithms should be clever enough to take really argumented decision and to know how and when they should redirect the car to the first hospital. Another thing which this intelligent car should also think about from legal perspective is how to handle difficult situations related to crime, related to battle scenes in the car. For example, if we are speaking about the situation when we have a nice company after a party, and we are coming to a different situation where we have a disagreement, where verbal communication is not enough, then our car should decide what will happen, should recognize this battle scene and brings this to the closest police department. So what we will do there? Is it really a problem? Or it is not? Is it really a crime? Or it is just a friendly communication? We cannot determine. So to be honest, I think we have to grow a little bit more, and we have to think a little bit more from this ethical aspect, and then to start thinking for fully implementing the car for all the people. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Antonetta.
Thank you. So, well, these were the lightning talks on the first ever edition of Dev Challenge Accepted, a conference with a cause.